Welcome to the All-Star Athlete Podcast, your guide to mastering the mental game and reaching your full potential. I'm Justin Hebert, a mental performance coach dedicated to helping you break through mental barriers and achieve your full potential. Welcome to episode 9 of the All-Star Athlete Podcast, where we'll explore two cornerstone qualities of athletic and personal success: resilience and adaptability. These aren't just buzzwords, they're vital skills that can determine how far you go when life and competition throw you curveballs. By the end of today's episode, you'll have a clearer understanding of what it takes to bounce back stronger from setbacks and to thrive in the face of change. We'll also break these concepts down into actionable strategies to help you strengthen your own mental game. Before we dive into today's topic, let's take a moment to recap what we've covered in previous episodes. In episode 1, we set the stage for mental performance by discussing growth mindset and motivation, showing how athletes like Serena Williams and Michael Phelps harnessed these qualities to fuel their success. Episode 2 focused on stress and anxiety management, featuring Simone Biles and Kevin Love, who have shown extraordinary poise under pressure. In episode 3, we tackled self-talk, mindfulness, and meditation, learning from Tom Brady and Carly Lloyd how these techniques can improve focus and emotional control. Episode 4 dove into overcoming fears, conquering self-doubt, and building self-confidence, with Lionel Messi and Allison Felix as our inspirations. In episode 5, we explore the topics of imagery, visualization, focus, and flow, taking lessons from Mikaela Shiffrin and Cristiano Ronaldo on how mental rehearsal can lead to peak performance. Episode 6 shifted gears to goal setting and deliberate practice, showcasing Roger Federer and Mia Hamm as examples of how consistency and planning can drive success. In episode 7, we focused on nutrition and recovery, drawing inspiration from NBA superstar LeBron James and tennis superstar Novak Djokovic, who show how fueling the body and mind is essential for peak performance. And last episode, we talked about how Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen utilized the power of chemistry to power the Chicago Bulls to 6 NBA titles. So far, it's been quite a journey discussing the fundamentals of mental performance, and there's still plenty more to come. Today, we're zooming in on two qualities that every athlete needs to master if they want to succeed not just on the field, but in life: resilience, which is the ability to bounce back from adversity, and adaptability, which is the capacity to adjust effectively to new challenges or unexpected changes. Whether it's recovering from a tough loss, an injury, or a slump in performance, resilience is what keeps you moving forward. And when things don't go according to plan, whether it's a mid-game strategy shift, new competition rules, or life's unforeseen challenges, it's adaptability that allows you to pivot, innovate, and keep thriving. Today, we're zooming in on two qualities that every athlete needs to master if they want to succeed not just on the field, but in life. Resilience, which is the ability to bounce back from adversity, and adaptability, which is the capacity to adjust effectively to new challenges or unexpected changes. Whether it's recovering from a tough loss, an injury, or a slump in performance, resilience is what keeps you moving forward. And when things don't go according to plan, whether it's a mid-game strategy shift, new competition rules, or life's unforeseen challenges, it's adaptability that allows you to pivot, innovate, and keep thriving. However, many athletes struggle to master these skills. The pitfalls are all too common, and they often hold even the most talented individuals back from reaching their full potential. With resilience, one of the biggest challenges is the tendency to dwell on failures. It's easy to let a bad game, a missed opportunity, or even a personal mistake replay endlessly in your mind, overshadowing your accomplishments and eroding your confidence. This often leads to self-doubt spirals, where athletes begin to question their abilities, which only compounds the pressure and makes bouncing back even harder. On the other hand, some athletes develop a fear of making mistakes so deeply ingrained that it prevents them from taking the necessary risks to grow. Instead of stepping up and taking a shot, they play it safe, missing out on opportunities to learn and improve. With adaptability, the barriers can be equally damaging but more subtle. First, rigid thinking is a common issue. In other words, clinging to one plan or approach, even when it's clear that adjustments are needed. Some athletes become so comfortable in their routines that they develop an over-reliance on them, making it difficult to pivot when unexpected challenges arise. Others resist change altogether, fearing that stepping outside their comfort zone will disrupt their progress. This resistance to change stifles growth, leaving them stuck, while others who are more adaptable continue to evolve and thrive. But here's the good news. Resilience and adaptability are not innate traits reserved for a lucky few. They're skills, mental muscles that can be developed, trained, and strengthened over time with the right mindset and strategies. Just like you would train your body to get stronger and faster, you can train your mind to recover from setbacks more effectively and adjust to new circumstances with confidence. In this episode, we'll break down these concepts into two distinct sections. First, we'll discuss resilience, where we'll dive into stories of athletes like tennis legend Rafael Nadal, whose unwavering determination has helped him overcome injuries and tough losses to stay at the top of his game, and surfer Bethany Hamilton, whose remarkable comeback to professional surfing after losing her arm in a shark attack is a powerful example of human grit. Second, we'll dive into adaptability, with lessons from Giannis Antetokounmpo, who has continually reinvented his game to dominate the ever-evolving NBA landscape, and Chloe Kim, whose ability to adapt mentally and physically has kept her at the top of competitive snowboarding while also navigating the pressures of being a global icon. We will also finish each section with actionable tips that you can apply immediately. Whether you're trying to bounce back from a tough season, adjust to a new team dynamic, or simply handle life's curveballs with more grace, this episode will equip you with the tools you need to make resilience and adaptability part of your mental game. Let's begin our deep dive into resilience by first examining the common pitfalls that many athletes encounter when striving to develop this critical skill. I wanted to discuss the common pitfalls when it comes to resilience to bring your awareness to some things that you may or may not be doing that are holding you back. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from setbacks, but the road to developing it is often riddled with challenges. It's not just about enduring tough times, but also about responding to them in a way that fosters growth and strengthens your mental fortitude. However, many athletes find themselves stuck in patterns of thinking and behavior that undermine their ability to recover effectively. Let's take a closer look at some of the most common pitfalls. The first pitfall that athletes encounter with respect to resilience is dwelling too much on failures. One of the biggest barriers to resilience is the tendency to dwell on failures. For many athletes, mistakes feel magnified, whether it's a missed shot in a critical game, a performance that fell short of expectations, or an injury that disrupts their progress. These moments can replay endlessly in their minds, creating a mental loop of regret and frustration. Instead of learning from the experience and moving forward, athletes often let these moments define their self-worth, which erodes confidence and stalls growth. The longer this fixation persists, the harder it becomes to regain momentum and focus on future opportunities. The second pitfall is self-doubt spirals. Setbacks can also trigger a cascade of negative thoughts, commonly known as self-doubt spirals. These spirals start with small questions like, what if I'm not good enough? And quickly snowball into pervasive doubts about an athlete's abilities and future potential. This internal dialogue not only saps emotional energy, but also affects performance on the field or court. Athletes that are caught in these spirals may hesitate in key moments, second-guessing themselves instead of trusting their instincts. Over time, this hesitation compounds, making it increasingly difficult to recover mentally and emotionally after a setback. The third pitfall is fear of making mistakes. While it's natural to want to avoid mistakes, an excessive fear of failure can be paralyzing. Many athletes, especially those striving for perfection, adopt an overly cautious approach to their performance. They tend to play it safe, avoiding situations that require risk-taking or stepping out of their comfort zones. Unfortunately, this cautious mindset prevents them from exploring their full potential. Growth and improvement often come from embracing challenges and learning from mistakes, but fear of failure can hold athletes back, keeping them stuck in a cycle of mediocrity. Okay, so at this point, you might be thinking to yourself, these are all great examples of issues that may or may not be happening, but why does recognizing these pitfalls matter? The first step to developing resilience is recognizing these patterns and understanding how they impact your mental game. Dwelling on failures, succumbing to self-doubt, or fearing mistakes doesn't just hinder recovery from setbacks, it can create long-term obstacles to growth and success. By becoming aware of these pitfalls, athletes can begin to replace unhelpful habits with healthier, more productive responses to adversity. Now, let's look at two incredible athletes who have exemplified the power of resilience in their careers: Rafael Nadal and Bethany Hamilton. Their stories show how resilience can be cultivated even in the face of extraordinary challenges, and how it can lead to both personal and professional triumphs. Rafael Nadal, widely regarded as one of the greatest tennis players of all time, is a living embodiment of resilience. His entire career has been a masterclass in navigating adversity, whether it be chronic injuries, grueling losses, or the relentless pressure of maintaining elite status in one of the most competitive sports. Over the years, Nadal has faced a host of physical challenges, including debilitating knee tendonitis, wrist injuries, and back problems, any of which could have ended a lesser athlete's career. These injuries have often forced him to miss significant tournaments and recalibrate his playing style to prolong his career. What truly sets Nadal apart is his ability to maintain an unshakable focus on the present moment, regardless of the circumstances. He approaches every match with a point-by-point mindset, a mental strategy that allows him to channel his energy entirely into the task at hand, rather than being weighed down by concerns about the outcome. This disciplined focus helps him stay composed even in the most high-stakes situations, whether he's fighting to win a tiebreaker or coming back from a 2-set deficit. Beyond his physical and technical adjustments, Nadal's resilience shines through in his mental fortitude. He refuses to let injuries define his career or dictate his potential. Instead, he adapts, learns, and finds ways to work around his limitations, leveraging his tactical intelligence and sheer determination to outlast his opponents. Nadal's relentless hunger for excellence has kept him competing at the highest level, earning him an unprecedented number of Grand Slam titles. His story is not just one of physical endurance, but a powerful lesson in embracing adversity, making adjustments, and persevering with a fierce belief in one's ability to succeed. Next, let's talk about Bethany Hamilton. Bethany Hamilton's story is one of the most extraordinary demonstrations of resilience in the history of sports. At just 13 years old, Hamilton was surfing near her home in Kauai, Hawaii, when a 14-foot tiger shark attacked her, severing her left arm. For most people, such a traumatic and life-altering event would have ended any hope of continuing a competitive athletic career. But Hamilton's story is anything but ordinary. Remarkably, just 1 month after the attack, Hamilton returned to the water, determined to reclaim her passion for surfing. The road was far from easy. She had to relearn how to paddle, balance, and maneuver her board with only one arm. Through relentless practice and an unbreakable spirit, she devised techniques that allowed her to adapt to her new reality. Her return to competitive surfing wasn't just about perseverance, it was about innovation and grit. Over time, Hamilton didn't just recover, she thrived. She went on to compete at the highest levels of professional surfing, winning national titles and earning a place among the sport's elite. Beyond her athletic accomplishments, Hamilton has become a global symbol of courage and inspiration. Through her books, films, and motivational talks, she shares her stories with millions, showing that even the most devastating setbacks can be transformed into opportunities for growth. Bethany's resilience is rooted in her ability to confront adversity head-on, redefine what's possible, and inspire others to do the same. Her story is a testament to the incredible strength of the human spirit and serves as a reminder that resilience isn't just about surviving difficult times, it's about thriving in spite of them. After exploring the inspiring stories of Rafael Nadal and Bethany Hamilton, you might find yourself asking, how can I build that same level of resilience in my own life? The good news is that resilience is not a fixed trait. It's a skill that anyone can develop with intentional effort and the right strategies. That being said, here are 3 actionable tips to help you get started on your journey to becoming more resilient today. First, reframe setbacks as learning opportunities. Setbacks are a natural part of any journey, but the way that you interpret them makes all the difference. The next time you encounter a challenge, whether it's a poor performance, an injury, or a tough loss, stop and take a moment to reflect. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this experience? Write down your thoughts in a journal or on your phone, focusing on the lessons that the setback has provided. Did it reveal an area of your game that needs improvement? Did it teach you how to handle pressure differently? For example, Rafael Nadal's injuries forced him to adapt his playing style, making him a more strategic and resourceful competitor. Similarly, setbacks in your own life can highlight opportunities for growth, helping you to emerge stronger and better prepared for the future. By viewing failures as stepping stones to success rather than roadblocks, you begin to shift your mindset toward one of growth and possibility.
The second actionable tip is to focus on the present moment. Resilience is often undermined by dwelling on past mistakes or worrying about future outcomes. To combat this, practice staying rooted in the present moment, just as Rafael Nadal does with his point-by-point mindset. Mindfulness techniques are powerful tools for achieving this focus. You can try incorporating practices like deep breathing, which is where you inhale deeply for a count of 4, hold for 4, and exhale for 4. And repeat this cycle a few times to calm your mind and body and bring yourself back to the present moment. You can also do body scans, which is where you close your eyes and mentally scan your body from head to toe, noticing any areas of tension that you might have. This practice grounds you in your physical sensations and redirects your attention away from any negative thoughts that you may be having. When you focus on what's happening in the here and now, you can make clearer decisions, respond more effectively to challenges, and prevent yourself from becoming overwhelmed by what's outside your control. The third and final tip is to develop a resilience routine. Resilience doesn't happen by chance. It requires a proactive approach. One way to build this mental muscle is by creating a structured routine that helps you bounce back after setbacks. To help you get started on this, here are a few elements that you can include in your resilience routine. First, journaling. Write down what went wrong and what you can do differently next time. Reflecting on setbacks in this way helps you to process your emotions and identify actionable steps for improvement. I would also encourage you to set short-term goals. After a setback, set 1 or 2 achievable goals to rebuild your confidence. For example, if you missed an important shot in a game, your goal could be to practice that specific shot for 15 minutes a day over the next 2 weeks. Finally, seek support. Talk to a trusted coach, a teammate, or a mentor about your experiences. They can provide perspective, encouragement, and insights that you might not see on your own. By establishing a routine like this, you create a framework that makes recovery feel manageable and purposeful. It helps turn setbacks into opportunities for reflection and growth, ensuring that you keep moving forward no matter what the challenges are that you're facing. Resilience isn't just about avoiding setbacks. It's about how you respond to them. It's the ability to face adversity head-on, adapt to the challenges it presents, and come out stronger on the other side. By addressing common pitfalls like dwelling on failures, embracing practical strategies like reframing setbacks and focusing on the present, and drawing inspiration from role models like Rafael Nadal and Bethany Hamilton, you can start to strengthen your own resilience today. Now that we've explored resilience, it's time to turn our attention to its equally important counterpart, adaptability. The ability to adjust and thrive in the face of change. While resilience is about bouncing back from setbacks, adaptability is about adjusting to new and unexpected circumstances. It's what allows athletes to thrive when things go awry, strategies fail, or the game shifts in unpredictable ways. Adaptability requires both mental flexibility and a willingness to embrace change, but like resilience, it comes with its own set of challenges. Many athletes struggle to adapt, often falling into these common pitfalls. The first pitfall when it comes to adaptability is having rigid thinking. Rigid thinking is one of the most common barriers to adaptability, as athletes with this mindset tend to stick stubbornly to their original plans or strategies, even when it becomes clear that those plans are no longer effective. This inability to adjust can lead to mounting frustration, diminished performance, and missed opportunities to turn the tide in their favor. For example, a player who continues to rely on a particular move or tactic, despite it being consistently countered by their opponent, essentially hands control of the game to the competition. Rigid thinking often stems from fear of the unknown or a reluctance to leave one's comfort zone. However, in dynamic environments like sports, the ability to assess and pivot in real time is essential. Without flexibility, athletes risk stagnation and become predictable, giving their opponents an upper hand. The second pitfall when it comes to adaptability is over-reliance on routine. Routines are an important part of athletic performance, providing consistency and a sense of control. However, over-reliance on these routines can become a crutch, making athletes overly dependent on specific conditions to perform well. When unexpected disruptions occur, like a delayed start, bad weather, or an altered schedule, athletes who rely too heavily on their routines may find themselves thrown off balance, unable to adapt to new circumstances. For example, an athlete with a meticulously planned pregame ritual might struggle to focus if the routine is interrupted. This overdependence can lead to anxiety, frustration, and ultimately a drop in performance. Adaptability requires finding the balance between leveraging helpful habits and maintaining the mental flexibility to perform well even when the conditions aren't ideal. The third pitfall when it comes to adaptability is having resistance to feedback and change. Adaptability requires athletes to continuously grow and improve, but this growth is often hindered by resistance to feedback. Some athletes perceive feedback as criticism, taking it personally rather than seeing it as a valuable tool for progress. This mindset creates a barrier to incorporating necessary adjustments, whether it's refining technique, altering strategy, or embracing a new approach to training. Without a willingness to embrace change, athletes risk falling behind their competition. For instance, a tennis player who refuses to adjust their backhand technique despite consistent errors limits their potential to improve. True adaptability isn't just about hearing feedback, it's about actively using it to evolve. Athletes who embrace feedback as an opportunity to sharpen their skills not only grow faster, but also develop the mental resilience needed to thrive in an ever-changing landscape. Addressing these pitfalls, rigid thinking, over-reliance on routine, and resistance to feedback, is the first step toward building the adaptability needed to excel in competitive sports and beyond. Let's explore two examples of athletes who have mastered adaptability in their own careers, Giannis Antetokounmpo and Chloe Kim. Giannis Antetokounmpo, often referred to as the Greek Freak, is a perfect illustration of how adaptability fuels sustained success. When Giannis entered the NBA as a lanky 19-year-old, he was undeniably athletic, but far from polished. His game was raw, and his skill set was limited, relying heavily on his physical gifts rather than refined technique. Yet, from the very beginning, Giannis demonstrated a rare willingness to embrace feedback and grow beyond his natural abilities. Recognizing that athleticism alone wouldn't make him an all-time great, Giannis set out to evolve every aspect of his game. He dedicated countless hours to improving his ball handling, expanding his shooting range, and refining his decision-making. Each offseason became an opportunity for reinvention, as he methodically worked to turn his weaknesses into strengths. He listened closely to his coaches and teammates, absorbing their input and translating it into tangible results on the court. As Giannis's dominance in the paint grew, the league began devising strategies to contain him, often using multiple defenders to cut off his driving lanes. But instead of letting this stall his progress, Giannis adapted yet again.
He focused on developing a mid-range jumper, improving his free throw shooting, and even experimenting with three-point range. His relentless drive to stay ahead of the competition wasn't just about responding to changes, it was about proactively anticipating them and staying one step ahead. This adaptability didn't just elevate Giannis individually, it transformed the Milwaukee Bucks into perennial contenders. His ability to reinvent himself season after season culminated in the Bucks' 2021 NBA championship, where Giannis delivered one of the greatest finals performances in history. His adaptability underscores an essential lesson. Success isn't about staying the same, it's about evolving continuously to meet new challenges and opportunities. Now, let's talk about how snowboarder Chloe Kim has utilized adaptability in her career. Chloe Kim, a two-time Olympic gold medalist and one of the most celebrated snowboarders in the world, is a shining example of adaptability both in her sport and in her life. On the slopes, Chloe is known for pushing boundaries, performing tricks that were once considered impossible, and consistently raising the bar for her competitors. Her adaptability is a critical part of her success, enabling her to adjust her strategy in response to varying conditions, courses, and levels of competition. During competitions, snow and weather conditions can change rapidly, altering the dynamics of the halfpipe. Chloe's ability to read these shifts and adjust her runs accordingly has been a key factor in her dominance. She's also adept at observing her competitors, noting the tricks they perform and tailoring her strategy in real time to ensure that her performances stand out. This level of mental and physical flexibility requires not only exceptional skill, but also an acute awareness of her surroundings. Off the slopes, Chloe has faced challenges that are less visible but equally demanding. After winning her first Olympic gold medal at just 17 years old, she was thrust into the global spotlight, a level of fame that brought intense pressure and scrutiny. Recognizing the toll this was taking on her mental health, Chloe made the courageous decision to step away from competition temporarily to focus on her well-being and education. This break wasn't an abandonment of her goals, but a recalibration, an act of adaptability that allowed her to maintain balance and longevity in her career. Chloe's story is a reminder that adaptability isn't just about adjusting to external factors, it's also about knowing when to pause, reflect, and make changes to sustain long-term success. By prioritizing both her mental health and her athletic performance, Chloe has set a powerful example for others about the importance of self-awareness and flexibility. Her ability to thrive on the slopes and in life demonstrates that true adaptability is a blend of preparation, creativity, and self-compassion. Adaptability is an essential skill that can help you thrive in the face of change. Here are 3 practical strategies that you can start using today to enhance your ability to adjust to new challenges and unpredictable situations. The first is to embrace what-if scenarios. One of the most effective ways to prepare for unexpected changes is to mentally rehearse alternative outcomes. In other words, spend time visualizing different what-if scenarios for your upcoming events or competitions. Some questions that you could ask yourself are, what if the weather changes during the event? Or, what if my opponent uses an unexpected strategy? Or even, what if a key piece of equipment fails or I'm forced to adjust my technique? By practicing how you would respond to these situations ahead of time, you build a mental toolkit of responses that you can draw upon when the unexpected happens. Visualization helps you feel more prepared and confident, reducing the likelihood of panic or indecision. For example, Giannis Antetokounmpo's off-season training often involves adapting his game to counter defensive strategies he might encounter during the next NBA season. You can apply a similar mindset by regularly rehearsing scenarios where you're forced to adjust your plans in real time. The second actionable tip is to develop a growth mindset, which is a topic that we covered in depth in the first episode of this podcast. Adaptability is rooted in the belief that challenges and changes are opportunities to grow rather than threats to your success. This is the essence of a growth mindset. To cultivate this, actively seek feedback from those around you, coaches, teammates, or even competitors. When someone offers constructive criticism, resist the urge to become defensive. Instead, ask yourself, how can I use this feedback to improve? Start by identifying one area of your performance that could benefit from change. For example, if a coach suggests a new training technique, commit to testing it out in your practice sessions, even if it feels unfamiliar at first. Chloe Kim embodies this growth mindset, constantly refining her tricks and expanding her repertoire to stay ahead of her competition. You can follow her lead by viewing every piece of feedback as a stepping stone towards improvement rather than a disruption to your routine. Small incremental changes can lead to significant growth over time. The third actionable tip is to strengthen your situational awareness. Adaptability often hinges on your ability to assess and respond to changes quickly. Situational awareness is the skill of staying present and observing what's happening around you so that you can make informed decisions in the moment. During practices or competitions, focus on noticing key details such as, how is your opponent's strategy evolving? Or, are environmental factors like wind or field conditions impacting play? Or, is your team's dynamic shifting during the game? Improving situational awareness involves honing your observational skills and staying attuned to subtle shifts in your surroundings. Practice this by regularly pausing during training or games to evaluate the situation. For example, take note of how your opponent responds to specific moves or plays and adjust your approach accordingly. By staying alert and adaptable, you'll be able to pivot your strategy seamlessly, much like Chloe Kim does when faced with unpredictable snow conditions during competitions. Adaptability is a skill that ensures you not only survive, but thrive in unpredictable environments. Athletes like Giannis Antetokounmpo and Chloe Kim have shown us that being open to change, seeking constant improvement, and staying present in the moment can lead to incredible success. Whether it's adjusting your game plan mid-competition, evolving your skills to meet new challenges, or balancing competing priorities in your life, adaptability is what allows you to stay ahead. By addressing pitfalls like rigid thinking, over-reliance on routines, and resistance to feedback, and implementing practical strategies like visualizing scenarios, adopting a growth mindset, and strengthening your situational awareness, you'll build the flexibility needed to excel in any situation. Resilience and adaptability are the cornerstones of thriving in the ever-changing world of sports and in life. Resilience allows you to bounce back stronger after setbacks, while adaptability helps you adjust to new challenges and pivot when things don't go as planned. Together, these qualities can elevate your mental game, allowing you to navigate adversity with confidence and thrive in unpredictable situations. Today, we explored how athletes like Rafael Nadal and Bethany Hamilton have demonstrated incredible resilience, overcoming injuries and life-altering challenges to achieve greatness. We also looked at how Giannis Antetokounmpo and Chloe Kim showcased adaptability by evolving their skills, their strategies, and even their approaches to personal well-being in response to changing circumstances. Their stories remind us that no matter how difficult the road ahead may seem, the ability to adapt and recover is within our reach. We also identified the common pitfalls that can hold you back, such as rigid thinking, over-reliance on routine, and resistance to feedback, and provided some actionable tips to help you develop these critical mental performance skills. From reframing setbacks as learning opportunities to strengthening your situational awareness, these strategies are designed to help you build resilience and adaptability into your own game. This week, I challenge you to focus on building both resilience and adaptability in your own life. These qualities aren't just skills. They're mindsets that can be strengthened through deliberate practice. Here's how you can get started. First, reframe a recent setback. Take a moment to reflect on a challenge or disappointment that you've recently faced. It could be a missed opportunity, a difficult game, or a setback in your training. Instead of dwelling on the negatives, write down 3 lessons you can take away from the experience. Ask yourself, what did this teach me about my strengths and weaknesses? And how can I use this experience to grow and improve moving forward? Or, what steps can I take to prevent a similar setback in the future? By shifting your perspective, you'll start to see setbacks as stepping stones rather than obstacles. This practice helps you develop a resilient mindset, turning moments of failure into valuable opportunities for growth. The second challenge is to adapt to a change. Identify one area of your training, routine, or performance where you feel stuck or overly reliant on habit. Maybe you always follow the same pregame ritual or stick to a familiar training plan. This week, challenge yourself to make one intentional change in that area. For example, try a new technique or approach to a skill that you've been working on. Or incorporate feedback from a coach or teammate, even if it feels unfamiliar at first. Step outside your comfort zone by setting a new goal or trying a new workout routine. Adapting to change can feel uncomfortable at first, but it's a powerful way to build mental flexibility and confidence. As you embrace this shift, take note of how it feels to break free from old habits and explore new possibilities. The third weekly takeaway would be to stay present during a challenge. One of the keys to adaptability is staying grounded in the moment, especially when things don't go as planned. This week, practice focusing on the present moment during a workout, a game, or practice session. Use mindfulness techniques to help you stay centered. These could be deep breathing techniques, such as taking slow, deliberate breaths to calm your mind and body. For example, inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds, and exhale for 4 seconds. Another option would be to use visualization. Before or during a challenge, picture yourself successfully navigating the situation. Imagine how you'll respond if things shift unexpectedly. What will you do in this case? Another option would be body awareness. For example, paying attention to the physical sensations of your movements, like the rhythm of your steps or the feel of your muscles working. Staying present helps you avoid getting stuck in worries about the past or the future, making it easier to adapt to changes as they arise. By tackling these 3 challenges, you'll take meaningful steps toward developing both resilience and adaptability. Remember, these are skills that grow with practice, so don't be afraid to experiment and reflect on what works best for you. Each small step you take this week will strengthen your mental game and prepare you to handle future challenges with confidence. Next week, in episode 10, we'll be bringing everything together. Over the past 9 episodes, we've built a comprehensive mental performance toolkit covering topics like growth mindset, stress management, self-talk, goal setting, and many more. In our next episode, we'll revisit these foundational concepts and discuss how you can build and cultivate your all-star mindset by integrating all of these ideas into a cohesive approach to your mental game. Whether you're just starting your journey or looking to refine your skills, Episode 10 will provide the roadmap to take your mental performance to the next level. Thanks for tuning into this episode of the All-Star Athlete Podcast. If you found today's discussion helpful, please remember to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with a teammate or a friend who might benefit. I'll see you next week as we continue building your all-star mindset. Until then, stay resilient, stay adaptable, and keep striving for greatness. I'll see you in the next one.